EIDL Loan Reconsideration confusion heats up as more loans are denied. This is a Bombshell exclusive for Monday, May 18th. This is LALATE. Thanks for subscribing. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording for Tuesday. But let's get right to it. Here's the news. This is Monday, and for the first time, this channel is segmenting EIDL into 3 videos. There will now be 3 videos. The first will be EIDL Grant Daily, about those who are applying for the grant have questions about the grant. EIDL Loan, for those who are waiting for processing of the loan and have questions about the loan. And finally, EIDL Reconsideration, for those of you who have applied for the loan, been denied, and don't know how to do a reconsideration. This video daily will now answer your questions. So let's get right to it. For the first time, I'm going to really say something in a negative fashion. There are a lot of channels out there who are referring to this reconsideration as much of nothing. It is not. So please listen carefully to what you have to do a reconsideration. It is not something so simplistic as look at this again. First of all, the term reconsideration in every sense of the word, whether it's SBA or anywhere else, means that they are to look at new information. They're not to look at existing information. So when they're processing a reconsideration, they're looking at something that you've presented that is new, that'll cast your application in a different regard so that it can be now approved. First, what are the grounds for denial? Please, in the comments below to this video, indicate why you were denied and why you think the denial was improper. In the last 3 days, LALATE has received a whole realm of reasons for denial. The most common, of course, is the Experian credit score was too low. That's the most simplistic of it. Let's address that first of all. Some of you have asked whether or not if your Experian credit score was actually higher or moving, can you use that as a basis? Absolutely. Now, anything that I'm going to indicate to you is not indication that you'll actually get a win on a reconsideration, but is certainly grounds for reconsideration. When doing an Experian credit check for the EIDL loan upon filing or upon going into the portal and accepting the amount, they're pulling the Experian credit score at that date. When you do a reconsideration, you have up to 6 months to file your reconsideration, and during that time, your Experian credit score can certainly fluctuate. Moreover, a lot of contentions have been made as to when the Experian credit score should be pulled. As you know, you can, for free, without any hits against your account, find your Experian credit score over a period of time. Your Experian credit score, for example, may have been very, very strong before COVID-19 and went down because of COVID-19 because you had obligations you could not pay. And so your credit score became far worse. Second, you can move your Experian credit score. You can certainly, within a very finite period of time, raise your credit score through through several different means. Raising that credit score could then be grounds for them to reconsider the denial based upon poor credit record. Finally, what was the reason of the Experian credit score being so low for the denial? You know, many of you in the comments have indicated what is a low credit score. Some of you have been approved in the low 600s, high 500s. Others of you have gotten denials. It's really not clear. Second, a lot of you have been denied, have indicated in the comments that you have been denied based upon insufficient showing of economic injury. Now, I've only seen 2 of your denial letters. If you can drop them in the comments or send them in a way that I can see them and answer your questions, that would be very helpful. But one of them I will address specifically. A person on Instagram DM'd me and DM'd LALATE and said, hey, here is the denial letter. His denial letter said, basically, that he had not suffered in economic injury because his grant exceeded his amount of injury. There's a problem. He never received the grant. Here, in that case, there is no proof of reducing the economic injury based upon the grant because the person had never received the grant. But some of you have received the same letter when you have received the grant. The question is, how do you prove economic injury? Certainly, this is new information. So if you have data to prove to SBA, whether or not received a grant, that you did suffer economic injury because of COVID-19 and are unqualified for an EIDL loan, then that's grounds for reconsideration. It's new facts. How would you do it? You would do it based upon, if you applied as a sole proprietor or as an independent contractor, based upon your gross receipts over the period of first quarter 2020, second quarter 2020 versus any quarters of 2019 that you think were applicable, or your 2019 year-end statement. If you can show a stark and indisputable economic impact by COVID-19 on your business, then the denial was unwarranted. Finally, some of you have indicated another grounds for denial that you have received is based upon unable to verify identity or something along the lines like that, that is a purely administrative denial. This one might be the easiest to remedy on reconsideration. This is a case in which we presume, we don't know, but we presume that the denial is based upon an automated process, and that automated process couldn't verify who you were, and for that reason the loan was denied. That's a very easy way to do it. In fact, EIDL's reconsideration process asks for date of birth and other types of documents to verify you are you or your business is it, so that they confirm that they are actually speaking to the right person. The loan may have been denied for that simple purpose. So let's get to the details of why how you do an EIDL loan reconsideration. This is one of many videos to come, but I'm going to give you a broad stroke. It's going to be a lot of information, and please take down a pen and pencil. And as always, join us on our live chats daily after these recordings go live to ask questions about this and more. So a reconsideration is basically codified in a federal order, which is 7.28. It's a federal guidelines. If you go on Google, you can pull up the document. It's over 250 pages. It's an SBA Disaster Assistance Program, SOP 5039. It's a 237-page rules and regulations. Yes, it was adopted before COVID-19, but it's for all economic disaster relief loans. So we presume that this is the grounds upon which they talk about reconsideration. Reconsideration appears at 7.28. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, please follow these rules and regulations. Do not do it slappy or listen to other channels that just say, oh, you write a letter and everything is punky-dory. No, please listen to these details with specificity. How does a reconsideration work? First, it must be filed within 6 months. I don't want you to wait for 5 months. I don't want you to get close to that deadline. I want you to take care of it now. We all know that there's a diminishing issue of funds and progress, loan officer staffing. Don't wait on this. Once you feel that you're at the sophistication level, do it. Requests must be in writing, can't be over the phone, and they must be received, I'm quoting directly from the order, and received within 6 months of the date of the initial decline letter. So 6 months from the date of receipt of the denial letter. It's not necessary for the applicant to file a new application in these cases. All right, so what does SBA want in a reconsideration? First, I'm going to give you the bad news. You can make a very good argument why you were denied reconsideration, why you were denied, and that based upon those facts that you're going to present, there's grounds for reconsideration to be granted approval. However, guidelines, according to SBA, says that they can find an additional new ground to deny you different than the one they initially based their denial upon. So the key element is new. The information must be something they did not already have. So please work with your brain cells and your paperwork and figure out what do you have that they don't have that'll clearly, indisputably dispute their contention. And these should be documents which really are, almost self-authenticating, self-verifiable, tax returns or receipts or billing statements, or something that's clearly that speaks for itself. Quote, the written reconsideration must contain all significant new information to overcome the initial decline reasons. Notice the word new. It must, if the most recent financial statements are older than 12 months, you must provide current financial statements. So there you go. All right, so a declined application shall present new evidence to overcome the ground, but be prepared that you could be denied on another ground. And so the best way I say to deal with that head on is basically in your mind, think about the other grounds that could use to deny you and get ready to have enough information to say, hey, the totality of the application is grounds for approval. But think about those other ones. Quote, denied applicants can present additional information which may overcome the reasons for the decline. Whenever the applicant requests a reconsideration, the case should be assigned to a new loan officer. So you actually get a new face. Don't worry about that. This is done to prevent a fresh look. The reasons the applicant can be denied on a new ground. Quote, the reasons the applicant was initially declined. So when you're writing your letter, think about the following words. So if they wanted to deny your reconsideration, they must state whether the applicant was able to overcome the original decline reasons or any new decline reasons if applicable. So think about that. Not just why you were declined in that letter, but any other reason. This is the reason why you really have to follow this channel, because over the next couple of days, hopefully, I will have more information to impart to you about other people and why they were declined. And so it will become sort of a clearinghouse on problems and decline reasons. So you will know, oh, I have to be worried about this. Oh, I don't think that's an issue. You need to be ready to deal with each of these issues. A date of birth should be submitted, but there's a twist. And these last two are hyper technical, so I'm sorry if they seem a little complicated, but if you were denied based upon employment determination, you get a different standard of review. There is a link to an article published on LALATE which will detail that different standard of review if that was the basis for your denial. And if you were denied based upon size of business, your reconsideration will be treated differently as well. So read the end of that LALATE article. A lot of really fascinating stuff. What I implore you to do is drop in the comments below by Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, why you were denied, what the basis of the denial was, whether you think it's true or correct, and whether you think you have information to overcome that. Then I want you to also pay attention to other people's comments, because when you see that someone else comments on a denial reason other than yours, I want you to think in your mind if you have enough basis to overcome their problem. If the SBA loan officer in reviewing your reconsideration says, oh, yeah, you've overcome your own denial letter, but I see 3 other problems here. So I want you to be prepared for that. Reconsideration is not a simple thing like, oh, you made a mistake, let's do it all over again. No, it has to be based upon new information. So in watching this video and the videos that come in the days to come on reconsideration, get your paperwork ready. Jump into our live chats if you have any questions. And as always, stay with LA for more.